Hey y'all, welcome to Dangerous Thoughts. I'm Shane. Today, we're talking about Trump's ridiculous AI art at a DoorDash press conference. Let's get after it. Okay, what do you see here? I see an American flag. I see some specters in the clouds, maybe soldiers, with rays from heaven illuminating them. Honestly, I think that guy in the middle looks like he's got two flags on his back, and maybe he's wearing a novelty foam Statue of Liberty hat, so I assume he died at Fleet Week. I see a few planes flying overhead that really have no business having ever left the ground. There's fireworks, the Statue of Liberty, the Lincoln Memorial, a soldier. Here's a nurse with a hat that definitely isn't on her head. There's also a sick man in a hospital gown being healed with divine light. A girl is praying, and just kidding. The other woman, she was a doctor. She didn't go to school for 9 years just to be discriminated against. Also, there's the Dos Equis man, dressed like a CBP agent, and the U.S. Capitol building with its dome removed. I don't know if that was stolen by Jan 6 rioters or the aliens from Mars attacks. Who can say? Oh, and there's Trump in the middle of it, portrayed as Jesus Christ. Got all that? Okay, back to the press conference. Rather than over-explain it, let's just run it.
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better. As an example, the 11,000, I understand your husband's going through treatment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's
He
going
has
through
cancer.
some very serious cancer treatment, so
Yes, sir.
this goes a long way.
Yes, sir. It sure does.
First, I want to clarify. I did not doctor that Chiron in any way. That was what Fox ran on their stream. President Trump orders McDonald's. This whole presser was a stunt for No Tax on Tips, where he had a DoorDasher deliver McDonald's and then asked her about her tax return. If you want to learn why that's a stupid measurement of how Republican tax policy actually affects workers, I touched on it in this video. But no, we're here today for the picture that Donald Trump posted as a doctor with a Red Cross worker making people better through tax refunds. Also, the poor DoorDash lady's husband has cancer? What? So yeah, despite being a totally normal picture of Trump as a doctor, he deleted it. What the fuck are we even talking about? Look, I get it. On the long list of egregious things Trump has lied about, Obama's birth certificate, the 2020 election, no new wars, to name a few, this isn't even in the top 1,000, so why stop to even highlight it? Well, because it shouldn't happen at all. To some degree, we all understand that politicians lie. Iraq has WMDs. I don't sleep with my staffers. I believe in fiscal responsibility. But generally speaking, we don't tolerate this kind of pointless, low-level, pathological falsehood. Let this be a Rorschach test. If you don't see Trump as a Christ figure in this image, you're lying or grifting and should be banished from the public square. Polite society has no place for that kind of casual dishonesty. They have a First Amendment right to spew that bullshit, but nobody ought to volunteer to smell it. If we're ever going to get past Trumpism, if there's ever going to be a reconciliation and a return to truth, if our liberal democracy is ever going to walk back from the brink of authoritarianism, then the people we entrust with our institutions simply cannot behave this way. We have to demand more from our elected officials: honesty, integrity, and character. At the very least, we cannot allow them the smallest dishonesties, because God knows it's hard enough to hold them accountable for the big lies. That's why this situation is so troubling. It's dumb. It's an AI slop picture projecting the president as the god of a religion he scarcely believes in. It costs nothing and harms no one to simply say, yeah, it was a bad idea, or oops, posted it by accident, or just no comment. Instead, you'll see his lackeys rush to parrot Trump's excuse, deny simple reality, and give a flock of low-information fanboys the permission they want to believe or at least excuse the latest lie of the week.
Brett, I think the president was posting a joke, and of course he took it down because he recognized that a lot of people weren't understanding his humor in that case.
It doesn't have to be this way. If you don't remember what life was like before President Trump, I can assure you, politicians never lied as blatantly, as rampantly, or as unapologetically as Trump. Nearly 50 years ago, one of the biggest bands on earth was called Van Halen. And yeah, if that number doesn't sound right to you, you're due for a colonoscopy. Anyway, they had a weird quirk in their touring rider for the venues they played. In addition to the usual food and drinks and booze, Van Halen also wanted something annoying. A bowl of M&Ms without any brown M&Ms inside. This meant someone needed to go buy packs of M&Ms, fill up a bowl, and hand sort out the brown ones. Was this a case of egomaniac musicians making life hell for the staff at every venue they played? Was it an excuse to berate underlings for failing to cater to their whims? No, and no. It was a quiet check on the venue. Had they read the contract? Had they carefully followed the details? If the band came in and saw brown M&Ms, then they knew they needed to double and triple check their setups. If the M&Ms were absent, they could trust the venue got the easy details right. This stupid fucking Jesus painting is just like Van Halen and their no brown M&Ms rider. It's not a test of Trump. He's already a liar. This is the test of you. What will you tolerate? What will you let slip in the name of partisanism or sweep under the rug of both sides? Because if you'll let him lie about the things you can see with your own eyes, you'll let him lie about anything. Hey, if you like what I do here and want to support independent media, click like and subscribe, or maybe drop a comment down below to help the algorithm. It's super helpful to a brand new channel like mine and doesn't cost you a thing. You can check out more of my videos about games, hobbies, and politics here on the Mundangerous Thoughts YouTube channel, or one of these videos that YouTube thinks you might like.